Chapter 26. Spending overnight with Severus. Still looking beautiful in my Yule Ball outfit, I made it to Severus's personal room and knocked on the door. He opened the door instantly as I walked in, and he closed it behind me. Before I could do anything, I was pinned against the wall with his arms on the wall for support as he muttered, "Merry Christmas, beautiful." He didn't give me a chance to open my mouth to respond as he kissed me lightly, which caught me by surprise. I kissed him back softly as he let go, and we looked at each other. Neither of us said a word, but I looked up at the ceiling to see mistletoe hanging above us, and I couldn't help but smile as he softly grinned. I giggled as he muttered, "It's still Christmas Day, you know." Oh my goodness, I'm not sure why he's being sweet all of a sudden, but I really like it. I'm starting to think he really is starting to keep his word after all. Am I really dreaming that this man who normally comes out cold just makes this small sweet gesture? I blushed as I looked at him happily and still surprised. "Merry Christmas to you too, Severus. This is all such a surprise. I didn't mean to suddenly push you against the wall and kiss you. I just couldn't take it with you in that dress. You looked absolutely astonishing. You really do." All I could do was just blush cherry red as it struck me by surprise, and I saw him smirk, seeing I was blushing. I then smirked as I decided to mess with him some. "What's the matter, Severus? Do I look too pretty in this dress for you to stare at?" He raised his eyebrows as he laughed some, showing some of his humor. "Honestly, Miranda, yes, you really do." I wrapped my arms around his neck as I laughed and got on my tiptoes to kiss his nose. He twitched his nose a bit as I giggled, and he smiled a little at me. We were, for once, appeared to be happy with each other. Maybe there's starting to be a small chance that this can work out after all. If he's for some reason being sweet, I don't see any reason why I can't be also, especially if we're trying to be together. Any particular reason why you're suddenly deciding to be really sweet towards me, Severus? Why do you ask? Just curious. Honestly, Miranda, I want to make you happy, and if doing small gestures to show love and appreciation does so, then I'll do so to make you smile. I smiled once more in awe as I stared into his eyes for a moment. We stood in an embrace for a couple of minutes as he sensed that I didn't want him to let go. Soon after, he let me go as he went to sit in his armchair by the fire. I walked over to him and stood in front of him, seeing if he minded that I sat on his lap. Sensing what I wanted without saying, he turned me around by my waist and sat me on his lap. We stared at each other without saying a word, and I honestly felt content. I could get used to being like this. I leaned back against him as he felt me smile and rubbed my hair. I muttered after a bit, "I wish it could be like this more, you and I together like this." "I wish also, Miranda, and maybe if it can happen more if we're careful." I stood up and continued, "Severus, after this year's over, let's run away together, just you and me. We can get a house on the beach and stay there for however long. I mean, we won't be a student and a teacher who accidentally fell in love with each other." He got up, went in front of me, and glanced at me. "I would love to, but you know about my past and how wrong it is to run. If we do so and run away, and if the Dark Lord comes back somehow, the Dark Lord will find me and kill us both. I don't want that to happen. We may be together, but I'm keeping my word. I like you a lot, Miranda. It's wrong, but I don't regret anything." We both stood there close together, not saying anything. It did warm my heart to know how Severus feels, and I'm glad he's opening up some and being honest. He noticed my silence as he pulled me into his chest and hugged me tightly. I snuggled my head in his chest and felt better immediately. I guess maybe I'm a bit hesitant about everything that has occurred. Sensing the silence, he said, "I'm sorry, Miranda. I just don't want anything to happen to either of us, even if it's including the Dark Lord." "Don't worry, Severus. It's fine. Trust me." I looked up at him with a trusting look. I wouldn't even be able to go through with that anyway. He looked back and stared into my eyes like he wasn't sure if I was being honest. I don't mean to make it sound like I want to run away or something. It's just, no, don't worry, love. I understand. I'm just grateful that I can have a real chance now at a relationship with you. That's all. I don't want to mess it up. You won't mess anything up, love. I looked up at him as he looked down at me. Like I said before, if you're willing to do what it takes to make it work, we'll do it together. I truly do like you a lot, Miranda. I mean that. I cannot deny how I feel. I know our age gap and your professional things have been rough, but I really want to try and make it work out no matter what and see where it takes us. We'll try to make it work. Do I need to be worried about you, Miranda? It is the holiday after all. I don't want you to be upset, he responded as he held me close. I thought you didn't celebrate the holiday much. I don't, usually, but here I am, spending it afterward with you. I'm more willing to make you happy if that's what it takes. I smiled softly as I looked up at him. That's really sweet of you, Severus. I appreciate that. I'll do anything for you, Miranda. Has the potions professor gone soft on me now? I asked cheekily as I giggled and he chuckled. I'll admit that you've created a soft spot within me, but that does go to show the effect you have on me. He leaned down and placed a soft kiss on the top of my forehead. I'll be all right, Severus. I swear. I smiled up at him, letting him know that it really was all right. Then my smile got bigger as he suddenly questioned, What's with the big smile? Well, I was thinking, let's make most of the time we have tonight, if you want. I started to unbutton his robe nervously as his eyes got wide. He got the idea and then chuckled, clearly amused. I knew that he was a bit unsure about this, but I kind of am too. But it feels right. He put my hand over mine as he lifted my chin with the other hand. He led me to his bed, laid me down, and got on top of me. He leaned down to me as he kissed my lips just oh so softly. And I think you can picture or guess what goes on from there without me explaining it. After all that was over, Severus put his clothes and robe back on as I sat up in bed with the sheet covering me. I mentally cursed myself, realizing I didn't think to stop at my door and to grab an extra pair of clothes. Maybe I can just borrow something of his to wear for the night, and I can just slip my dress back on in the morning. I opened my mouth to ask, but instead he said, Hey Miranda, you might want to put your dress back on. I raised my eyebrows in question as he handed me my clothes, and I put my undergarments on. Why, Severus? I was just going to ask you to borrow something of yours for the night. Because I'm going to secretly take you out. What else, love? He came up to me and messed with my nose as I stood up from the bed. I reacted to it by giggling. Severus, that tickles. He chuckled some and started to tickle my waist, not realizing how precarious I actually was. I exclaimed in between laughs, No, Severus, stop, please. I was squirming on the floor, twisting and turning as he was on top of me, tickling me to death. After a minute, he stopped as he helped me up, both of us lightly laughing. Seeing him getting this comfortable and soft is a sight I would love to continue to see. We were staring at each other when I felt myself start to blush, so I looked down. I totally bloody forgot that I was only in my undergarments. Severus was about to chip my chin up when my stomach rumbled and both of us heard it. I put my hand over my stomach, feeling a little embarrassed. I wonder how late it is. He tilted my chin up as I looked at him. He softly chuckled. Well, it looks like someone is hungry after all. I playfully hit his arm as I smiled. It's not that funny, Severus. I didn't have anything to eat before the dance. I don't know how late it is, but I could use some food. I watched him as he lightly chuckled, amused by how adorable I probably was acting, which was making him open up differently. He looked completely different. It seemed like a different person tonight. Was I really making him happy in a way that was getting him to act differently, but in a good, positive way? I could really get used to seeing him like this. I shook the thoughts off before I got too deep into thinking and walked away so that I could put my dress back on. Once I did, I felt arms wrap around my waist, and I couldn't help but smile softly and sink into the comfort feeling. Apparently, someone is very ticklish after all. It's adorable. I turned around, got on my tiptoes, and lightly kissed his nose. Both of us looked at each other and laughed once more. I know it's late, Miranda, and if you want, I can take you out, just the two of us. Won't that be risky, Severus? I'll make sure nothing goes wrong. Does this mean you're willing to secretly take me out on a first date? I've never been on one before. He kindly smiled at me as I smiled back. Yes, it does. Then I would love to, I responded as he held onto my hand. Then we both carefully went out to school as I felt the coldness, but Severus held me tightly against him to keep me warm. I didn't notice how dark it really was outside until I faintly started to see the bright glow of the moon. I can't believe I'm secretly doing this with him, and we aren't getting caught. but I'm sure Professor Dumbledore would have our back anyhow. After a couple minutes of walking, we came out into the open field. I saw a boot in his hand that was a portkey as he placed it on the grass. I guess he knew that I must have learned about portkeys already. I heard him tell me to hang on to the boot lightly, and I did in an instant without hesitating. All I remember was feeling the wind rip around my body and things around me went by fast. About a minute later, we were in front of a small restaurant and there was a table for two reserved for us inside. I guess that this is the type of restaurant for wizards to go to. I wonder how Severus was able to do this unless he had partial help from Professor Dumbledore. We walked in and he helped me to a seat as he sat down in his. There was no one else around, just us, as I sat in awe, realizing he must have planned this ahead of time. He put a lot of thought into this. Maybe since all of this has happened so far this year, he wanted to do this for me. Before I can ask anything, a waiter came by our table as we ordered our food and drinks. After the waiter wrote our orders down and left, I asked, "Severus, where are we exactly?" "Well, I was talking to Albus Dumbledore the other day. He remembered that you were spending the night with me after the Yule Ball, which he said was fine by him. He brought me to this restaurant and told me to take you here for dinner if I wanted to take you out or even on a date. So, last night I made reservations here for both of us. I was hoping you would agree to this as a first date." I just looked at him in complete awe while the waiter came back with our drinks. After he left, Severus saw the way I was looking at him as he reassured me, knowing I had questions. "Yes, this is a small wizard restaurant. I looked at Albus the same way you just did, and he told me that wizards own this place." I smiled softly. "Oh, okay. For a minute I was going to be worried." We ended up talking about anything and having a nice, casual conversation. We discussed things like what Severus thinks will be happening for the rest of the school year, including the Triwizard Tournament, even though that is unpredictable. I know he still thinks Harry or my friends are up to something, and still thinks Harry stole something, but he knows better to discuss it with me. Harry's my best friend after all. While we're eating our meal, we small talked but mostly tried to make each other laugh and smile as he did. It felt amazing to casually be on a date like this with him. I hope we can have more like this. After we finished our meal, we soon left and started to walk around and talk more in a forest nearby. Over time, I felt tired and started yawning as he noticed. Severus tried to get me to go on so that we can get out and go back, but I felt too tired to go any further. Then, Severus and I sat down by a tree as I cuddled against him, leaned my head on his shoulder, and fell asleep instantly.